Good morning all. Today we are discussing about the topic Sternberg's information processing theory. First we discuss what is information process. In simple words, information processing is the way in which an individual decides to go about performing a mental task or solving a problem. From the time an individual encounters a problem, he starts gathering information to find ways to complete the task or solve the problem. From this, we can understand that gathering information is the first step in the information processing. After that, we process the information and find the solution for the problem. Then we go to the next slide, that is the information processing view of learning. It deals how the learners attempt to recognize, transform, store, and retrieve the information. Next, let us know something about Robert Sternberg. He is a cognitive psychologist of Yale University. On the basis of his observation and experiment, he formulated the hierarchic theory of intelligence, taking into account the way human beings process information in executing a mental task. Actually, the idea of information processing was adopted by cognitive psychologists as a model of how human brain works. Sternberg's hierarchic theory is an intelligence theory, and his theory based on three sub-theories. First one is component sub-theory, second one is experimental sub-theory, and third one is conceptual sub-theory. First, component sub-theory is this analysis information to solve problem, and second one is experimental sub-theory and is using prior knowledge as information in problem solving and creating a nice idea, and conceptual sub-theory using intelligence demands practical intelligence. And this theory and these three sub-theories are various processes that affect the performing of cognitive tasks and consist of the information processing skill that drive intelligent behavior. The the componential subtheories is discussed in greater depth in this section. These subtheories of information processing include three aspects. First one is meta component, second one is performance components, and third one is knowledge acquisition component. We already discussed that Sternberg's hierarchic theory have three subtheories. In the conventional subtheory, he gave more stress on information processing. And these components are further classified into three. That is, we already discussed meta component, performance component, and knowledge acquisition component. And according to him, such components consist of activity to acquire or store information, to develop problem-solving strategies, and to use strategies according to a plan to solve problems and monitor one's progress. And he deals solely with information processing aspects of development and does not incorporate any factors of biological development into his study. Then we go to the main topic. Our main topic is Sternberg's information processing theory. Sternberg proposed that a person's intellectual functioning is decided mainly by the elementary information process operating on internal representation of objects or symbols. He called these components and classified them based on their function as follows. First one is meta components. These components represent higher order decision making process that an individual uses for planning, monitoring, and regulating the execution of a task. When we discuss about meta components, these components are the executive process that we use to solve problems, plan what to do, and for make decision and evaluate the outcome, etc. Meta components are mainly for planning. Next, we discuss about the second component, that is performance component. This components deals with the actual cognitive process which are employed to execute the task like problem identification, giving appropriate response. When we discuss about performance components, these components allow us to store information in short memory and compare solutions to the task, and it includes processes such as encoding, combination, comparison, and response. Performance components are mainly do the execution. Performance components mainly deals with the doing function. Next, we discuss the third component, that is knowledge acquisition components. These components represent the mental process used in gaining new information, such as using old ideas. Knowledge acquisition components are the lower order of mental process and which help to discover what knowledge and informations are needed to solve this problem. In other words, we can say that meta components actually do it, they perform it, and knowledge acquisition components make sure we learn things along the way. This chart give us more idea about different subcomponents. And first one is meta components, and second one is performance components, and third one is knowledge acquisition components. Sternberg explained the information processing theory based on these three components. And first component is meta components. Actually, meta component is for planning. That means what to do. It decides what to do. And the second component is performance components. That is for uh, execution. They actually do it. And third component is knowledge acquisition component that make sure we learn things along the way. And knowledge acquisitions components mainly deals mental processing. Next, we discuss an example. Is give more idea about these three components. Basic math problems allow an individual to think about the scope of the problem and later find or choose a practical method to solve it. There may be several methods available to solve a problem, but he may actually choose a method that best suit his or her ability. We can divide this example into three stages. First stage is meta component, second stage is performance component, and third stage is knowledge acquisition component. First, we already discussed that first stage is for planning. In this example, planning stage is while we think about the scope of problem. And the second stage is performance component. And this stage he finds practical method to solve the problem. And the third stage is knowledge acquisition component. And in this stage, when we choose a method that best suits for our ability. From this example, we can understand that the meta component is mainly for planning and performance component is mainly for execution purpose, and the knowledge acquisition deals with the mental processing. Next, we discuss the relevance in learning. Sternberg said that children often use different ability in academic tasks than in non-academic everyday situations. Yet out of schools, practical forms of intelligence are vital for life success, and they help in explaining why culture vary widely in the behavior they regard as intelligent. Next, we discuss the practical level or application level of information processing theory. First, instruction for learning should be socio-culturally relevant to the person. And second is subject matter to be learned should have link with the real world behavior. And third one is instruction should include strategies for coping up with specific situation. And the Sternberg suggests that the development is skill based and continuous rather than staged. and this continues as J theories believes, and his focus is on intelligence. And he also says that cognitive development occurs through interaction, and the development changes as a result of feedback, self-monitoring, etc. And this theory, intelligence is composed of three kinds of information processing components, that is meta component. We already discussed that meta component, performance component, and knowledge acquisition component. Sternberg mainly focused on self-monitoring or interaction, etc. The intelligence is acquired through interaction, self-monitoring, like that. Let me conclude. Sternberg component subtheory is presented in this study to give a comprehensive framework for understanding how information is processed while solving problems. This theory suggests that an individual's social interaction has some impact on cognitive development, and his assumption that learning does not occur in a vacuum. That's all about my topic. Thank you.